Hi, everybody. Today, you are joining me, Amanda Bruton, with the owner of Medicare Answers Now, to talk about international travel coverage. So, when you go ahead and you have a client, whether they're under 65 or over 65, that is traveling outside of the US, they do need to look for travel coverage outside of the stuff that they buy that through their travel agent or on a website or through their airline. That isn't the right type of insurance. They need something actually that covers them in case of an emergency. And that is GeoBlue. So today we have Todd Taylor from GeoBlue, who I have worked with for God, almost 15 years now. This is the travel coverage that I say you need in your back pocket. If you have somebody who is traveling, you need to present it to them. It is first pot dollar coverage. It is coverage that I use, that my parents use anytime that we travel internationally. And there's a bajillion and one reasons why I've chosen this particular carrier to use as my default when it comes to international coverage. The list is long, and you will hear that today with Todd's presentation. So, without further delay, I'm going to hand this over to Todd. It's floor's all yours.
All right. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me today. This is there was a lot of talk. There's always a lot of talk about insurance being a little, maybe dry, maybe a little boring. This is a very neat product. It's a product that you can sell all year. It's a product that every one of you has a client for today. And it's one that really satisfies a significant need should you have yourself, your child, your neighbor, your client, should they need to take advantage of while they're abroad of these services. So I think by the end of the presentation, you may be thinking to yourself of a lot of different avenues you might want to be able to market this product. My name's Todd Taylor. I've been with GeoBlue for about 17 years, and I have seen basically a little company that was called HTH Worldwide. We got an investment from the Blue Cross Blue Shield Association. We got an investment from Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, which is another very large blue plan. They trade named us GeoBlue, and they tasked us with creating an array of or a suite of different international travel products, and we'll go into them in just a minute. GeoBlue is the international division of all of the Blue Cross Blue Shield companies. The goal of the product is to help the individual traveler, no matter where they are in the world, help them identify, access, most importantly, help them pay for international healthcare. All too often, we hear these nightmare stories of people, not just seniors, but under 65 as well. GeoBlue is both a senior and an under 65 product that go abroad and have to come out of pocket tens of thousands of dollars, whether it's putting it on a credit card, setting up the GoFundMe. Nobody should be doing that to pay for an international claim. You can have a GeoBlue product, $0 deductible, $1 million medical limit. If your family's not worth a million, you can do the $50,000 option. First dollar coverage and pays as primary abroad. Just last summer, I got a call from an agent in Michigan that were telling me of a person who was on a Medicare Advantage plan. She went to the Dominican Republic for a week. As she was leaving the Dominican Republic to get to the airport to come home, she fell on the curb and she tripped. She breaks her hip, and the family had to pay $72,000 to get her back. Between the hospitalization there and the air transportation back, $72,000. Don't let that be your client. $0 deductible, $1 million medical limit, very affordable premiums, first dollar coverage. There are three stools to the GeoBlue block of business. We'll focus almost exclusively on the individual products today, but just know as well, we do employer groups. If you have an employer group that's sending many people back and forth, we can do a group plan. If you're working with any sort of universities, study abroad programs, for example, we also have a student division. And then there's the area that I head up, which is the individual area. Most people just assume incorrectly that their domestic health plan covers them just as adequately internationally as it does domestically. And oftentimes that is just not the case. An ACA plan has very limited international coverage. A Medicare product on the supplement side is 50,000 lifetime, and that's if you have a plan F or a plan G. On the Medicare Advantage side, I believe it's 100,000 lifetime. And then on a group plan, you may be covered, at least if you have a Blue Cross Blue Shield plan, you may be covered for what you're covered domestically when you go overseas. That may be true, but you're subject to the same deductibles, co-insurances, and co-pays. So if you're on a high deductible health plan and you have a $5,000 deductible and you have an international claim, you're going to be subject to that same deductible. Again, with GeoBlue, you can have zero deductible, $1 million medical limit. You have access to a network that I'll talk about, and we can arrange, for the most part, direct billing for covered services. So just please make sure you don't want a senior, especially, coming back to you and saying, why didn't you tell me my supplement only covered 50,000 lifetime? Why didn't you tell me I had to pay for everything out of pocket and I'm only going to get reimbursed 80%, plus there's a $250 deductible? There are also two important benefits on a GeoBlue plan that are generally not covered on any sort of domestic health plan. Number one would be a medical evacuation. Medical evacuations have to be paid for right then and there. They have to be paid for either by something like GeoBlue, a credit card, or cash. If you don't have the payment right then and there, you're not going anywhere, unfortunately. Domestic plans do not cover a medical evacuation. This is something only that would be covered under a plan like GeoBlue. In addition, a repatriation of mortal remains. If someone passes away overseas, getting those remains back is a very complicated process, and it's another service that has to be paid for right then and there. The average medical evacuation is around $47,000. The average repatriation of remains is around $15,000. Both services are covered under a GeoBlue plan. International travel's back. As you can imagine, COVID almost knocked the lights out of GeoBlue. There was a 95% reduction in all air travel, but international travel has now come back, and we're actually at 112% of where we were December 2023. So more people are traveling now than they ever have been before. You're traveling, your clients are traveling, your senior clients are traveling more than anybody. Seniors do more international travel than any other demographic group. Seniors must be protected when they're traveling abroad. If you need a passport, you need a plan. GeoBlue has a very well rated mobile application. There's a lot of things you can do with this ancillary to having an international travel plan with GeoBlue. You can arrange direct pay for covered services. That's not just the big things, right? We can do the little things too. If you wake up one morning and you just don't feel well, you want to go have a doctor consult, that's covered 100%. You're walking down a cobblestone street in Italy and you tweak your knee, you need an MRI, that's covered 100%. We also cover hospitalization, medical evacuation, repatriation of remains. Drug equivalency guide. If you are on multiple medications, you happen to lose one of those medications abroad, you can put into the GeoBlue app exactly what you're trying to say. Allegra, for example, has 2 to 3 different names in Europe, depending on the product, or excuse me, depending on the country. So you definitely want to make sure you're getting the right meds. Translation of medical terms. If you end up in a facility where nobody speaks English, you can put into the GeoBlue app exactly what you're trying to say. I have a headache. I think I broke my arm. I think I have COVID. I'm coughing a lot. And it will repeat. We have 25 of the world's most popular languages in the app. Understanding health and security risks. Everyone knows what's going on between Gaza and Israel. Everyone knows what's going on between Russia and the Ukraine. It's a daily occurrence anymore. We are giving our members real-time information about what's going on in almost every location in the world. I was in Phoenix last week, and I actually was getting pings from my smartphone from GeoBlue letting me know about activity within the Mexican cartels. So again, a lot of information real time, in addition to having an international travel medical plan. Mobile ID card right from your smartphone, and then e-claims as well. If you have a relatively low dollar claim, you want to take care of it right then and there, that's fine. You take a picture of it with your GeoBlue app, you file it, through the mobile application, you're probably reimbursed by the time you get home. Again, these are all tools ancillary to having a Blue Cross Blue Shield branded travel medical plan. Global Telemed's another tool as well. On the individual side, we added this about a year and a half ago. All members on the individual side now have access to this, no additional premium. This is essentially our teledoc. If you wake up one morning, you physically can't get to the doctor, that's fine. You can request through Global Telemed. You can and be connected 24/7 with a physician. They can even file a prescription for you. So this is an added service with GeoBlue available all over the world, and it is no additional premium. Can't stress this enough. Amanda does a great job traveling all over the country, educating agents and educating seniors. Please make sure to educate your seniors when they're traveling. Seniors do more travel than any other demographic group, and they have more shock claims internationally than any other demographic group. Seniors need to be educated about what Medicare does, more importantly, what it does not do when traveling internationally. These plans are guaranteed issued in 95. Almost all these plans can be sold online within a few minutes, and the pricing points are very, very good for seniors. Here are our 4 products. They're available in 47 states. The only states we do not have GeoBlue in are New York, Maryland, and Washington State. Other than that, we have GeoBlue available in all 47 states. We'll start from the left, the Voyager single trip plan. This will probably be 80% of your sales. This is a guaranteed issue product up to age 95. It's also guaranteed issue up to 182 days. You're going to Aruba for a week. You have a client that's gone to Mexico City for work for 10 days. Maybe you have someone that is going on a Mediterranean cruise for 3 weeks. Maybe there's someone that's backpacking through Europe for 6 months. Any U.S. citizen, any U.S. resident that is going abroad is eligible for the Voyager single trip plan. Okay, you do not need to have a Blue Cross Blue Shield product to buy GeoBlue. Any U.S. citizen, any U.S. resident can purchase the product. This plan will cover accidents, injuries, and illnesses abroad. You have the cold, that's covered 100%. You have the flu, that's covered 100%. Again, you're walking down a street and you injure your knee, that's covered 100%. You get into a car accident, as long as you didn't steal a car, that is covered at 100%. No excluded countries. You can go anywhere of your choosing. And this plan on the Voyager Choice option will cover most pre-existing medical conditions if you have a primary plan in the US. A primary plan is either an ACA product, a group health plan, an employer group plan, or a Medicare product. You have one of those, which is what 90% of people have. GeoBlue will cover most pre-existing conditions on the Voyager Choice option. Now, if you have someone that's on a short-term medical plan, VA benefits, uninsured, or on Medicaid, they can still purchase the product. That'll be our Voyager Essential option, but we do not cover pre-existing medical conditions on that plan. That's the big difference between Choice and Essential. Pricing of this product is very affordable. It's all based on age and length of trip. If you have someone who's 18 years old going on spring break to Mexico for 3 days, they're probably paying $1 a day. If you have someone who's 91 going to Italy for 3 months, they may be paying $15 to $20 per day. So it really depends on age, length of trip. Average price of the Voyager plan is $110 per trip for the $0 deductible, $1 million medical limit. All of these plans cover COVID. All of these plans cover medical evacuation. They all give access to all the tools and services, as well as repatriation of remains. So again, anyone going on vacation is an opportunity here. People going on business, people going on mission trips, church groups. I have a friend of mine who's an agent who was a local president of an ancient order of Hibernians and all the people going back and forth to Ireland. I have another agent in the Cleveland area who's Jewish, and he has relationships with all the birthright people going back and forth to Israel. So flex your relationships, anything that you may be involved in, your local clubs that are doing travel, church groups. More people are traveling now than ever before. There is supposed to be, according to our data, 81 million international trips this year. $81 million. The second product is our Trekker plan, and this is a multi-trip. So the first one's a single trip. The second one now is a multi-trip, and it's designed for someone going abroad multiple times per year. So for example, say you have a small group and there are a few executives that are going back and forth to, say, Latin America. They go once a quarter. Instead of selling them four single trip plans, you can do that. There's no problem there, but it's more economic to do one annual multi trip plan. You sell it one time, they buy it one time. It's good for the entire year. It's very affordable. It's around $300 per year, and it will cover unlimited trips abroad. They don't have to tell us each time they go. Just no trip can be longer than 70 days. If someone's doing a 70-day trip, they would default to the Voyager option. This is also a guaranteed issue product to 95. It's also available in the same 47 states, and again, very affordable, around $300 per year. This is also good for a senior. Seniors generally take 2 to 3 international trips per year, so they can buy it one time. It's a very good pricing point, and they don't have to keep buying it every time they're on another trip. The third product is our Explorer plan. I won't mention the second two products as much. Just know we also have the long-term options. The Explorer plan is essentially for someone who's living overseas full time. So for example, if you're in the large group market and you have an executive that's getting relocated to China for a 2-year work assignment, this product would be for them. This can include US coverage under the Blue Card PPO, as well as international coverage with GeoBlue as part of one plan. The benefits here are much more comprehensive. This is a comprehensive major medical plan. Besides the benefits being more robust, there is a series of health questions with this. In other words, it's not guaranteed issue, and someone can be rated as is, someone can be rated up, someone can be declined. This can also work inbound as well. If you have a foreign national coming to the United States to work 6 months or more, instead of trying to put them on a group plan, you can put them on an Explorer product. And then the final product is our Navigator plan. And this is designed for 3 subsets of individuals that are doing their own long-term assignments. Number one would be marine crew. If you're in the Florida or California markets, people working on boats or yachts or ships. Number two would be the missionary market. If you have a long-term mission client that's going abroad 6 months or more, we give them lower rates. They can apply for the Navigator plan. It'll cover both in and outside the United States under one product. But where I see the most opportunity here for all of you would be international students and outbound students. So for example, an international student coming to the United States to study here for 3 months or more. You could put them on a Navigator plan. There's only 5 underwriting questions. We get 98% of students through, and they would have access to the Blue Card PPO here in the United States and worldwide with GeoBlue. And then outbound as well. Say you have a client that says, my kid's going to Barcelona. He's going to be there for 2 years doing a grad program. They can be placed on a Navigator plan and have coverage worldwide with GeoBlue, and then domestically again under Blue Card. Students, mariners, missionaries, expatriates, people living abroad full-time, working abroad full-time, senior travelers, business travelers, leisure travelers, senior travelers, all opportunities with GeoBlue. Any U.S. citizen, any U.S. resident can purchase a GeoBlue plan. If you need a passport, you need a plan. Just some real-time examples here, just so everyone understands. 19-year-old student going to Greece for a semester, 113 days, $0 deductible, $1 million medical limit, $203 for the entire trip. 45-year-old business person going back and forth from Germany. That's a multi-trip opportunity, $175 for the entire year. And then seniors all day, every day up to age 95. 68-year-old going on a 10-day vacation to Italy and France, $0 deductible, $1 million medical limit, $81. And then a 68-year-old going on 3 trips, that's $460 for the entire year. Not $460 per trip, $460 for the entire year. This is our case study. This was a senior who who enjoys viewing castles in France, and he was up on a parapet or ledge, and he happened to fall off. He's lucky he didn't lose his life, but he fell and had a very vicious fracture of his leg. He was brought immediately to the closest facility, and his wife called us. We jumped into action, and we determined that he was not receiving the most appropriate treatment. So that's one of the services with GeoBlue. We will get in contact with the attending physicians. We will make sure you're getting the appropriate treatment. If you're not getting the appropriate treatment, we will get you to somewhere where you can get that accordingly. We got him to one of our facilities. He had a procedure. He recuperated in the hospital for, I believe, 6 to 7 days. And then once he was able, once the attending physician cleared him to fly, through our medical team, we were able to get him home to Arizona, where he was from. So all of the costs accordingly, $8,000 in France, and then the upgraded travel arrangements. We were able to get him a Lufthansa flight where he could recline fully. So that was $16,000 for that. $24,000, every penny of which direct billed to GeoBlue. $340, he had a multi-trip plan, which was good for the entire year. $349 for the entire year. Again, very affordable, but should someone need to take advantage of these services, should someone need to have a hospitalization or a very extensive international claim, GeoBlue jumps into action. Getting appointed to sell this product is extremely easy. You go to the URL on the slide, geobluetravelinsurance.com/TLC, geobluetravelinsurance.com/TLC. You go there, click that, gets to the agent sign up. You click the agent sign up button. You're essentially just putting in your license information, where you want us to send the commissions, your banking information, and that's it. You will get a coded link that is for you or your agency. A lot of agents, what they do is on their website, they'll create, a travel medical area or an international travel area. You put the link there. Anyone that wants to buy a plan can go there, purchase their plan at their leisure. This way, during the open enrollment period, you don't have to spend a lot of time quoting a GeoBlue product. You just send your clients to the link and they can buy it on their own. Commission's 15%. GeoBlue will pay that to you as agents directly. GeoBlueTravelInsurance.com/TLC. You can blast this link out to your clients. You can put it on Facebook. You can put it on social media. You can create campaigns. It's very easy to market this product. Quoting is super simple as well. When you get your link, you put in a zip code. You put in the travel dates of your client. You put in the age of your client. If you have a family, you can click add traveler and add more people. Once you have the demographic details in there, you click quote now. Out pops the quote. It'll automatically default to the $1 million medical limit, $0 deductible. You can toggle back and forth on the medical limit. You can toggle back and forth on the deductible. Once you get the pricing point you want, the client or you can click apply now, and then you put in a credit card. It's very easy. From quote to buy takes about 4 minutes. Agent Hub, when you get appointed, if you get appointed, you get access to this as well. You can quote from here. You can view your sales numbers. There's a lot of marketing. We have great testimonial videos. We have an under 65 one. We have a senior one. We have flyers. We're also coming out with some new material. We have a new seller's guide coming out that's a little bit more friendly, and you can actually put your agency information into that. So that I should have in the next week or so. You can track your commission statements. Definitely take advantage of the marketing. We have emails and newsletter blasts where all you have to do is download it. You can put your link into there and then blast it out. Anyone that goes to that link will code for you for commission purposes. So think of it like a squid or an octopus or something. The more you get it out there, the more people you're going to tag. I had one individual who was part of this big group going on a safari to Africa, and one person forwarded the email with a GeoBlue link in it, just kept forwarding it on, and that agent kept getting tagged on all those sales. So I think in total, the email was forwarded like 70 times, and he got about 150 sales, and he didn't even really do anything. It's just that link of the initial sale was coded to that agent, and it just kept getting passed along and passed along. So he was getting sales out of Kansas and California and Missouri, and he's from New Jersey. We have social media posts here. Again, you put your link in there, blast it out. digital banner ads. And again, we have great testimonial videos that explain in real time in a couple minutes. You have someone that's on the fence about GeoBlue, show them the testimonial video where we just save somebody's life and explains all that in detail. Here's my team's contact information. Contact me, contact my team. I'm backed by a full broker support team. And I am, Amanda, more than happy to answer any questions. I think I can actually see the chat feature now. So, okay.
Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and ask them to you. But
Yeah.
if you can throw back up a different slide other than that one, on a plan design slide, that would be great. So the first question that I have is, with Plan F and G, are they still responsible for 20%? They are still responsible for 20%, correct? And they have a $50,000 lifetime max.
That's so if they have a GeoBlue plan, we do not, that's not taken into consideration at all. GeoBlue is primary, $0 deductible, $1 million medical limit. If you do not have a GeoBlue plan, that's correct. It's a 50,000 lifetime limit. You have the senior has a 20% responsibility as well as the $250 deductible.
Okay. When there is a claim, are the benefits paid to the insured or is it to the medical facility? And I think we have now said this 4 times. It is first dollar coverage. And for those of you that don't know what first dollar coverage means, that means that you give an ID card and you're not giving them a credit card at the time that or getting a bill. The bill goes to the GeoBlue and GeoBlue pays the claim to the facility. That's what first dollar coverage means. Is this good for a cruise?
Yeah, as long as it's international cruise, your Caribbean cruises, Mediterranean cruises.
Okay. And why are you not in New York?
There are certain states we just decided that um, it, that we just couldn't do business there any longer. So there are 3 states in particular: New York, Maryland, and Washington State.
Okay. And then so I'm licensed in 40 states. Do I need to put all 40 licenses on file with you?
No, just your resident license.
Okay. What other questions do we have, guys? And by the way, if you did not catch it, this is good for under 65 as well as over 65. So think about the high school overseas trips that everybody does. Think about the mission trips that your churches do and your synagogues and all of that. Look at the charity work. Look at your expats that are going somewhere. Those are all different things that you want to go ahead and consider as sales opportunities when it comes to this. Renee, you got to put your question in the chat box on. Give me 1 second. And I gotta love that we just answered this question not even 2 seconds ago. Do you need to be licensed in all the states you may sell in with this?
Yeah, so there are, but just to clarify that a little bit, we only require your resident state license. So you don't need to put all your license into the appointment. Now, there are certain states where if you're doing business, there's about 4 or 5 of them that where if you are selling in those states, you should be licensed. Now, if you happen to sell in one of those states and you're not licensed, you're not going to get a DOI complaint or anything like that. You just might not be paid on the sale. For example, in Texas, you have to be licensed there if you're selling GeoBlue. Again, if your link gets forwarded and a Texas resident buys your plan, you're not going to get in any trouble per se. But for the most part, if you're in Ohio and you have a friend in Florida that you want to sell a plan to, you can make that sale.
Okay. And then if I have multiple people in my agency, how do we all get contracted to do this?
So what we can do, we'll set up the agency first, do the contracting for the agency, and then basically we can set up everyone else as an LOA or as just as a tracking agent where all the commission's going to the agency.
Okay. Awesome. Other
Now,
questions?
if you want them to get paid directly by GeoBlue, they can just do their own appointment and we'll pay them directly.
Other questions that you guys have? You mentioned that the Voyager Explorer covers most pre-existing conditions if you have a current plan. What would be a situation where it would not be covered?
So, say for example, has anyone ever seen the movie The Bucket List? It's with Morgan Freeman and Jack Nicholson, where they both have cancer, but they decide that they're going to go around the world, and basically hit the bucket list and do everything that they couldn't do in their lives. We wouldn't cover something like that, where if someone's sort of like at end stage and they're just going around the world because they want to hit the bucket list before they die. That's not something we would cover. We also don't cover medical tourism. If someone's going abroad for the purpose of getting medical care, for example, they'll say, well, my ACA plan has this really high deductible. I'm going to go to Thailand and get everything done, for pennies on the dollar. We do not cover that. So, by and large, I say we cover most pre-existing medical conditions. Textbook example: you have the Voyager Choice plan, you're on Medicare, you have a heart condition, you're in Italy, and you have a heart attack, that would be covered under the GeoBlue plan.
Awesome. And who do we contact for contracting? Sorry, I missed it.
Right here. Just go right here, geobluetravelinsurance.com/TLC, geobluetravelinsurance.com/TLC. This literally, I'm serious, everyone, this takes 5 minutes. You put in your license, you put in the banking information of where you want us to send the commissions, and then you will get a confirmation email with your link to quote and sell GeoBlue. Put that link on your website, blast it out on social media, blast it out to your client base. You will get sales.
Can you change the setup later from an agent to an agency?
Yes.
If someone is traveling out of the country for treatment, can they have coverage for issues outside of the treatment service, the fall on the way to the fall on the way for treatment, etc.?
No. And the reasoning is it'll always be a little bit of a gray area uh, of why you were going outside the United States. So let me get more clarification on that question. And my gut reaction will be no, but let me ask one of our compliance people.
Okay. Does a cruise have to leave from an international port to be covered? Example, they go to Florida and then they travel to the British Virgin Islands, Bahamas, etc.
The cruise should be an international cruise. So, cruises that leave in Florida, a lot of them leave from Tampa, for example. So you're leaving Tampa, you're en route to an international location, as long as it's an international cruise. I get a lot of questions about Canada and sort of the Alaskan cruises, right? We could cover in Canada. It's an international destination. Mexico and Canada are international. A lot of people, ask, what about Canada? It's an international destination. But as Alaska is a state, so we would not cover domestically.
Awesome. Okay, any other questions that you guys have? Going once, going twice? How does this compare to Assist America offered by MAPD plans?
Yeah, Assist America is essentially, it's not really an insurance plan. It's more of an assistance company. So you buy a plan from them, and there'll be someone there to assist, but I believe their setup is you have to pay for it. In other words, they'll assist you fee for service, whereas GeoBlue is an insurance policy, and we'll coordinate it and obviously pay for things as part of the insurance.
Okay. Any other questions that you guys have? Okay. Well, Todd, I appreciate you going ahead and doing the training. I will get this up and out on out on YouTube for you guys to go ahead and review. If you have any questions, let me know. He does have some cool brochures and things that you guys can customize with your name and your phone number that I highly recommend that you have out on your um, event tables when you're doing your community stuff. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or to Todd. And outside of that, have a great weekend, guys, and I will talk with y'all soon. Thank you.
Take care, everyone.